I'm on a homepage here. I'm in ListDefender. It's connected to a Keep app in this case. And I can see that my list size is about 10,000. I've got almost 2,800 that are green that I can send to no issues whatsoever. 852 are at some level of approaching unengagement, and I need to start doing re-engagement efforts. And then the reds, I'm just not going to send to them because they are either fake, they are suspect, they are just not worth sending to. I'm going to damage my reputation and my deliverability if I send to those people. So I'm going to avoid red. On this dashboard, it's also checking out new subscribers. So all contacts that are added to my database, it's doing a scan, regardless of whether it comes in through forms, imports, manual entry, API, whatever. It's going to scan them. As you can tell, this particular database, there are some issues. Do you see that? Almost over 1,000 subscribers, new subscribers in the past 30 days, only 30 are green. The rest are red. So there's something going on. We'll dive into that in a minute. And then specifically on my form protection, I've got some issues going on here too. Like you can see below that 40 on my enhanced submissions, only one has been allowed. 39 have been blocked. So lots of stuff going on here that we can tear apart. But I want to show you the details of each list scan. So my last big bulk scan was on July 10th. It scanned over 10,000 contacts and it marked those. So I can see it keeps history of how my email list is performing from a hygiene engagement perspective. And so in this case, I've had a little bit of a drop in who's green and an increase in who's red. So it's finding garbage and moving him into my red bucket, let's call it. And then my unengaged has actually dropped. So I'm getting better at getting my list that is approaching unengaged or unengaged, moving them to more green, or they're moving to red because they're fully unengaged. And the system just does this for me. If I go into the details of one of these, so this last big scan on July 10th, and there are a number of scans that ListDefender does, both every month, every week, every day in some cases. It'll keep track of different batches of contacts that are suspect or are non-deliverable right now, but just temporarily. So there are dozens of scans that happen. But this gives me the results of this last scan where I can see the breakdown that we saw on that dashboard. And then details. Unlike many list cleaning services that operate in a black box, we present all the data. So here's all of the engagement data where people break down. People that are tagged as red, why? Well, 555 of the 6,400 failed the valid email check. Well, what valid email check? Well, 97 have DNS record issues. 112 have MX record problems, so you can't even send to them. Email invalid mail server. 259, the bulk of them, address doesn't even exist. And then 70, the email inbox is full. That's one bucket that we scan regularly because sometimes an inbox is full or temporarily unavailable. So we want to keep checking those often and move them to a green status once they become deliverable. Quality, we're also doing dozens of checks on quality, disposables, vulgar terms, suspicious terms. And then we've got new contacts and form defense. So this is the latest big monthly scan that was done. These are the results. And I can go back and look at history and check every one of those. If I look at my form protection, because as you saw in that Venn diagram, we do list cleaning, we do engagement tracking, and we do form protection. So here on my opt-in form, and let me show you just, I won't show it. On an opt-in form, everybody knows what an opt-in form is, like for a content piece, lead magnet, whatever it is. I can have my forms protected, and as they're filling out the form, it is validating and checking to see if it's real. And you can see that bot was detected on this one. Here's a test that I did on this one here. Dave, back on July 9th, Dave test 1 at Gmail. That it does not exist. So it doesn't allow the form to be filled out or submitted. It also does typo checks of domains, known domains, and things like that. So it helps keep your list clean on an ongoing basis as new subscribers come into your list, as well as continually scans the entire list. If I go into this enhanced mode, so back on my dashboard, let me flip back here. I showed that in enhanced mode, I only had 1 submission out of 40, 39 were blocked. Well, that's kind of suspect. So let's look at the actual and come in here in enhanced mode. And this is a very common problem. Probably within the past year, this has been a growing issue across the email marketing world where these bots are, here's a perfect example, 2 through the rest of them actually, where a bot is injecting this crazy gobbledygook name field and a real email. And what they're doing is very programmatically, these bots are bypassing the form controls. So CAPTCHA, Cloudflare, honeypot fields that you might have added. It's bypassing all of that and going to the source code and using that to just inject the contacts into your database through the form. And we can identify that and see that, oh, these are highly, highly suspect. We identify them as a bot. And in this case, I've set it up so that it just deletes the contact before they start getting the autoresponders. So I'm actively, programmatically protecting against bots and bad actors that are trying to fill my database with junk contacts and real emails. And what they're doing is they're trying to exploit these people and get into their financial accounts and get money out of them. So they're opting them into hundreds of opt-ins or even thousands of opt-ins to bury the password reset and things like that. So crazy stuff going on.